It took 30 years for them to grow, but just a few minutes to chop them down. Thousands of orchards are coming down in the Central Valley. 20 different orchards have come down in Stanislaus County alone.
Tough years, you gotta make a decision.
Luke Wenger cut down 20 acres of 30-year-old walnut trees, so his crop of younger, more productive trees can have enough from his meager water supply.
There are other growers around the state who are taking out 50% of what they have in order to irrigate the other 50%. And so there are other growers who are hit a lot harder, who are getting zero water and don't have anything.
Many farmers are blaming politics more than the drought for their struggles, because about 50% of the state's water supply goes towards environmental purposes, such as preserving wetlands or endangered fish. Some say it's time for California to look at better ways to manage and store the water we do have.
Nature will pull a drought on us from time to time, but a water shortage is a matter of choice. It's a matter of a deliberate decision not to build the dams that are necessary to store the water in wet years so that we have that water in dry years.
But change won't come soon enough to save these trees. Farmers say they can't just leave trees out to die because they'll attract bugs and disease.
Even though it sits empty and we take the trees out, we still have to pay property taxes on this. And so the sooner we can get something in, the better.
So in the place of these trees will be barren land, a grim new landscape of California's Central Valley. In Sacramento, Midori Sperandeo reporting. Just 5 months ago, signs of a bitter drought were drowned out by a winter of heavy rain and snowfall. Today, the plentiful water is gone. Since July, federal officials have kicked up their routine water releases, flushing 5,000 cubic feet of water per second from the lake. That's the equivalent of 3,700 basketballs. This whole area used to be underwater, including these buoys. Families came here to play near the beach. Now, it's a dry desert wasteland. The lake has been drained to just 40% of its capacity. In March, it was at 90%.
This is heartbreaking. It's so barren.
Many residents are frustrated that the government would flush so much water away.
What's the purpose? What is the purpose of doing this? I don't understand. And I don't know if it's for the fish. That's what I've been told. But at the same time, look what it's doing to our lake.
Right now, we're making releases to ensure water temperatures in the river are acceptable for salmon that may be in the river. Downstream water quality in the delta.
But critics say the need to protect fish appears to be overriding the needs of people, and there's a better way to manage water so that there's enough to go around for everyone.
Whether you're talking about our massive macro infrastructure like water storage, groundwater storage, but also regional water projects such as stormwater capture, wastewater treatment, even desal. There is so much out there we could be doing.
Federal agencies are studying how they manage California's water, but that won't be finished for 2 years. So until they decide how to move forward, there will be more dry days ahead for Folsom and other state reservoirs. Near the state capitol, Midori Sperandeo reporting. Meet Ember, not Amber, a 6-month-old kitten who was rescued from the ruins of the recent wildfires. She was found wandering through the soot and ash with no place to go.
You can see the burns on the tips of her ears, and her whiskers got quite singed, and that's why they're curled and short.
So Ember, like all the cats here, was given a fire-inspired name by her rescuers, like Singe, Bernie, and Phoenix. Veterinarians are working long hours cleaning and wrapping her burned paws, the most common wound they're seeing come out of the fires.
A lot of cats lost their paw pads, actually, so they won't ever regain their paw pads back.
40 cats and kittens are being housed and cared for here. Many were left behind when their owners' homes burned down. Others may have been barn cats, unable to outrun the fire.
And so a lot of kitties were outdoor and just scattered, took off and couldn't be caught.
It'll be a few weeks before these kitties are healthy enough to be released. But many of them are still unclaimed, which means they'll have to be put in their local animal shelter. Many people may not know that their pet survived the fire or may not know where to look for them. Some cats have been claimed and will be reunited with their families once they're healthy enough to leave. For now, they're getting plenty of attention, care, and love.
I take them in my exam room, I play the radio, and we, brush them and pet them.
One cat did die from severe burns, but the rest of this group is expected to make a full recovery, including Ember, who no longer has a family or home, but thanks to her rescuers, has a second chance at life. In Sacramento, Midori Sperandeo reporting. It takes a 189,000 square foot building to hold all the state surplus, and one person's trash is another person's treasure.
So we have 6 saddles. This is the first time I've ever seen saddles here.
Used horse saddles, computers, computer supplies, car parts. All of it is up for auction after being retired from state offices or seized in crime busts. Some pieces are expected, others completely random.
Well, sometimes we get items like this, a violin that was lost at an airport and came to Los Angeles, and we picked it up, and there it is. It works.
And then there are the knives. Boxes and boxes of knives, confiscated at airports.
We have the opportunity to go down to Los Angeles and San Francisco and Burbank and retrieve those knives and bring them up here, where we'll separate them out into brands, and then we offer them to the public for sale.
This is all stuff that was confiscated from passengers at airports all around California. There's a box of butter knives, all sorts of tools, including a drill, a meat tenderizer, and even a samurai sword. Hundreds of people turn out for these auctions, looking for a deal. But a deal isn't always a sure thing.
It depends on who's here, it depends on whether they've done homework and they know what things are actually worth.
These auctions bring in about $100,000, which is used to keep the sprawling state surplus department going. And as long as people keep trying to bring knives or tools onto airplanes, there's plenty of inventory and work to be done. Near the state capitol, Midori Sperandeo reporting.